What's up guys, welcome back to another video here at Cheap Academy, and today we'll be going through SOHCAHTOA, also known as trig. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, because I promise you, it is this easy. Our learning outcomes for today is to understand what trigonometry is, what SOHCAHTOA stands for when we deal with triangles. It's also to solve trigonometry exam questions. So, what is SOHCAHTOA and trigonometry? Trigonometry is the three ratios of sine, cosine, and tangent. So we write them as sin, cos, and tan. These trigonometric ratios show the relationship between an angle in a right-angled triangle and its sides. In this lesson, we will focus on solving trigonometry exam questions and understand which to use when. Here is the right-angled triangle for you to visualise what SOHCAHTOA is. As you can see, we have H, O, and A. H is the hypotenuse, O is the opposite, and A is the adjacent. The adjacent is always the length that has the angle and the right angle on its line. As we can see, we have x, and then we have our right angle here. The opposite is the one that does not have the angle, hence because it's opposite. Here you can see sin equals O over h, cos equals A over h, and tan equals O over a. So if we want to work out, say, y in this scenario, y is our h, and we can see O is 20, and we know x is 30. So we use sin, because we have O and h, and we don't need a, so we ignore it. So as I've wrote at the bottom, we use sin 30 equals 20 over y, meaning y equals 20 over sin 30. And sin 30 is a half, so 20 over a half, which is a 40. Once again, it's that time to have a go at some maths reading exam questions. Have a go, pause the video, and unpause when you've done. So, in our first question, we're asked to work out the value of x. As we can see with our triangle here, A, we don't have anything, we only need O and h. So we're going to use sin. So, sin 35 equals 20 divided by x. Meaning x equals 20 divided by sin 35. And this to one decimal place is 34.9. Now in our second question, we're asked to work out the value of x. X is our O and 11 centimeters is our A. So we don't need a hypotenuse. So here we have O and A, we'll use tan. So obviously A and O. So we use tan 42 equals x divided by 11 because it's O over A, meaning tan 42 times 11 equals x, meaning x to one decimal place is 9.9. Now, with SOHCAHTOA, you need to learn about inverse functions. The inverse is how we find the angle inside our triangle. We put the function of sin, cos, or tan to the power of -1. Then we use that function in our calculators by pressing shift, then the function. So if you have a calculator, you'll have sin, cos, and tan on your calculator. But if you press shift, then sin, you'll get sin to -1. So if we want to work out the angle inside our triangle, and we know O equals 3 and h equals 25, we do sin 3 over 25, and this will give us x. If we press shift, then sin. Because sin to the power of -1, or cos to the power of -1, or tan to the power of -1 is how we work out that angle inside the triangle. Here are some more exam questions for you to have a go at. Have a go, pause the video, and unpause when you've done. So, in our first question, we're asked to calculate the size of the angle ACB, which is this angle. As we can see, we have h and we have O. So we're going to use sin. So sin x equals 5 over 16, meaning the inverse of sin, 5 over 16, equals x. And we put that in our calculator to one decimal place, we get 18.2. Now in our second question, we're asked to calculate the angle of BAC, which is here. Now obviously, here we have A and O. So we're going to use tan. So tan x equals 9 over 5, meaning the inverse of tan for 9 over 5 equals x, and x to one decimal place is 60.9. Now it's time to have a go at some of the hardest exam questions you'll probably be asked on trigonometry. Have a go, pause the video, and unpause when you've done. So, we're asked to work out the value of x and to give that answer to one decimal place. As you can see with our triangle, we only have an angle of 25 degrees inside. We don't have a base for a height. But with our other triangle, we have a hypotenuse of 20 and a base of 16. So if we work out the height, we can use that in our other triangle. So if we use Pythagoras, and we do 16 squared plus b squared equals 20 squared, we do 256 plus b squared equals 400, meaning b squared equals 144 and b will equal 12. Now we can use this with our other triangle. As you can see, A, we don't need it, we only need O and H. So if we use sin, because we've got O and H, we do sin 25 equals 12 divided by x, meaning x equals 12 divided by sin 25. And to one decimal place, like the question asked us to, we get 28.4. Here is another exam question for you to have a go. Have a go, pause the video, and unpause when you've done. So, in our question, we're asked to work out the sides of the angle BCD, which is here. Give your answer to one decimal place. So obviously, if we have a combined base of 22 centimeters, we're going to need to find this section here, for which we can then use the inverse function of 1 of sin, cos or tan, to then work out our angle inside. But first, to do that, we're going to have to find this section. So we can do 22 minus this section. So if we label this section y, we can then use SOHCAHTOA to find out. So obviously y is our A and 9 is our O. Now if we use tan, because we have O and A, we know tan 37 equals 9 divided by y, meaning y equals 9 divided by tan 37. Getting us to y to equal 11.934, carrying on. If it's a very long decimal, you don't have to write it all out every time. I advise you do, because then the examiner can see what answer you get, and then knows you're probably right. It's just probably a math error what you've done. So I do advise you write it out, but I'm not writing it all out for the sake of saving time. Now, CD equals 22 minus RY, which is 11.934, and this gets us to 10.05659, carrying on. Now, if we work this out, we know that our base now is our A, because our vertical height is O, so our A has just switched side. So now we know we're going to use the inverse tan to work this out, because we need to work out this value of x. So tan x equals 9 divided by our 10.05. Always put the whole number, this is why I put the abbreviation marks. So we do the inverse of tan for 9 divided by 10.05, and this will give us an x. And x to one decimal place gets us to 41.8. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of today's lesson. I did say it was that easy. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.